Okay, so setup wise, again, looking very, very good there. Sort of much more conventional. Grip wise, looking good. Posture, I think, which I was looking down the line, was fantastic. Top of the backswing now, pretty good. Good shoulder turn. A little bit of a drop there, side, but you get a good coil there with the shoulders and the hips there, creating a lot of power there. Certainly enough power to hit the golf ball 150. This swing on the right hand side, in actual fact, as we can see, has been a little bit shorter, and that's kind of been where you've been at with the last half dozen swings there, trying to be more control of the club. Not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you're not losing distance with that backswing. The theory of it, swing the club here, it's going to go further if the club goes there. Well, if you strike it better, it's going to go further anyway. So your downswing now, in an attempt to not want to go to the right, kind of creates this scoop. There's your impact. Hands behind the golf ball. This left wrist now is sort of really sort of cupped in there, and a flick, and as we can see, the ball has sort of been topped off, or the club's actually overtaken the golf ball there, because you've sort of really hit off the golf ball. There's a real scoop there with the left hand and a flick. We go back to that impact position there, and then look at this impact position here now, and the feeling we're trying to create again, just think, how low can the golf ball be hit? Trying to hit the ball under some trees or whatever, or under the target, and there's your impact position there. Yeah. I mean, that is a much, look at the lines on there, it's a much more solid contact as opposed to that line going back through your right shoulder. You're more on top of the ball, you're covering the golf ball as that club then goes through now. Much more width there with the arms, and that club releasing through here. So really, really good move. Head stays on a little bit long, to be fair, if truth be told. That could kind of come through there with your shoulders rather than sort of staying down. It's going to put more just stress on your neck. But again, for years, I've been told, keep your head down, keep your head down, okay? Doesn't need to stay down even that long. At that point now, you should almost be looking where the target is, but you can see when you come through, pretty good move there. If we compare that sort of post movement there to that one there, it's all just scoop flicked and just collapsed with the left arm, and all this in here now is just already lost sort of any form of solid position. It's just like and the collapse. Now your elbow will soften and stay down. Part of the reason why some of the shots go a little bit right is because that left elbow gets a little bit high, but that's something we can work on at the time and stuff. But I'd rather see that movement there than sort of flick scooping with the wrist. I think that just sort of generally stemmed from two faults you may have had: the ball going right or the ball not going up in the air. Which are kind of two bad shots that most people tend to start off playing golf with, out there or just on the ground. So to try and help the ball up in the air, they usually use their right hand to try and flick scoop it and try less left, or so less right. Now when they're on the range and the mat's pretty firm, it might not work so well. Oh, he's that little tiny black tee. Oh, it's great that the ball's going up in the air, lovely. Then you go on the golf course and the ball's on the ground, we just top all day. So getting that feeling of that right wrist, that dragging drill we talked about, where you put the club kind of hands in the same and put the club there and just try and drag it to there. But keeping the club on the ground the whole way, you'll feel how your right wrist wants to sort of work and function, as opposed to this sort of scoop flicking with the right wrist up that way, okay? So much more downward strike. Again, using the range ridge weight, use the sort of tree line at the back of the range. Can you hit some 7-irons? Maybe say, okay, right, I'm going to try and hit 5 7-irons or 10 7-irons underneath that tree line, okay, that you're going to visually see. Obviously it's behind the tree anyway, because the trees are quite high up in the air, but the visual of the ball being under the trees there is what you're going for. And just set a target. So if you hit one that goes under the tree line, okay, that would be 1 out of 1. If you get 6 out of 10, that's your target. And then when you go back next time, try and beat that. So you're always challenging yourself in practice, not just hitting golf balls and just sort of saying when they're going, oh, I'll do this way. Okay, so your best, say, is 6 out of 10. When you go back and practice the week after, the first, even in the warm-up, you're still challenging yourself. Okay, I'm trying to get 7 out of 10. So when you get to, say, I don't know, 5 out of 8, if I get into the last 2, and I'm going to get my personal, but you're starting to make a bit more pressure in practice. So when you get on the golf course, you're kind of used to it, rather than just sort of hit a shot, oh, that's rubbish, hit a shot, hit a shot, and that sort of less sort of pressure structure. Okay, does that make sense? So yeah, but that impact position there, mate, much better there. If we can continue getting that right wrist into that position there now, much more of a downward strike. That was a much better movement there, as opposed to that sort of tucked up sort of scoopy, exactly, a scoop flick and powerless, controlless. It's just not going to really get much sort of a shot from there. Okay, good stuff. Okay, mate, there's a couple more balls.